Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today for part 40 and we've got two very big games. We play Oxford in a big top of the table clash, second v third, as we're just about in a promotion race early in the season. And then we play 9th place Pompey in our game in hand, but it's their game in hand too. And if they win it, they'll be right back in a promotion push. So depending on how today's episode goes, we could finish top of the league. We could finish probably 5th or 6th and looking over our shoulder. But of course, we've got to get promoted this year. So regardless, we need to pick up points. We've also got a few issues in terms of form. For the first time this season, we've got 2 of our star 6 out injured. And we've also got our goalkeeper to thank for not being top of the league already. We'll show you why in a minute. If you're looking forward to the episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Thank you so much for your support in our Sheffield Wednesday stint so far. You can subscribe down below and turn the notification bell on for daily FM22 videos. It's a big season at Hemel Hempstead. We're struggling again. And if you want to catch up with that or any of the other playlists, you can find them up in the eye above. The Cricket 22 series is there, as is the Twitch channel for regular live streams. And there's also a link up there to the football podcast where we've got our Christmas special coming tonight. Don't worry, there's no Christmas stuff in it. It's just a December ramble. We're having a chat with loads of quizzes and football fun. But let's go and crack on with Sheffield Wednesday. Of course, we're out of the transfer window. Nothing can happen. You can see a couple of knocks for the first time, which is going to be a big test for us today. And Uche Ikpeazu has very quickly dipped out of form. He got himself an assist in his last start and played well. But apart from that, he's really struggled for goals and it has given us a headache. But it's also emerged a new little hero. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for what I mean by that. I think you can see where our bumpy spell was. After the last episode, we had a really good win, followed by 5 games without one, and now 3 games with. But probably reflects the standard of opposition we've played. Wycombe are a good side, Birmingham a good team away from home. Bradford just seem to have our number this year. Whereas Leyton Orient and Wimbledon at home are games we'd very much expect to win. So we'll start off with the 3-0 win away at Walsall. Lang and Adeniran got 2. And those 2 players who scored the 3 goals, not available today. That shows you the difficulty of the task. A 1-1 draw at home to Wycombe. Duncan Watmore's goal cancelled out in the second half. A 3-2 defeat at home to Bradford City. Check out the goalkeeper's rating. 5.9. 2 individual errors that cost goals. And as a result, instead of being a 2-1 win and a decent performance, it was a 3-2 defeat and a disaster. So unfortunately, Rashawn Williams and Jamari Clark couldn't do enough in that one. We bounced back with a clean sheet at Port Vale. Fair enough, Render played okay in that one. Against Birmingham, though, again, Render, the worst player on the pitch, apart from Uche Ikpeazu. He did manage to concede just the 2, though. Harvey White got 1 back from the spot, but another individual error, and it cost us a point. Against Bradford in the EFL Trophy, Leojo Davidson scored a late penalty to take us to pens, but this time, unlike the Liverpool game, we lost it. So unfortunately, just the 1 point for us there. We have bounced back though against 3 of the struggling sides in really good form. Firstly, a 5-0 win at home to Orient, aided with 2 late goals following a red card. But 2 for Watmore, 1 for Williams, Clark and White, followed by a 2-0 victory at home to AFC Wimbledon, Watmore and White getting the goals again. And then away at Charlton, a really good display. Adeniran, who's now injured of course, and Jamari Clark, the new emerging star as a striker. We mentioned the fact in the last couple of episodes that although he's a decent player all round, he didn't really have a role that suited him. His attributes weren't balanced to a particular position, and I guess that's because we were looking at him as a winger. If you look at him as a target man up front, albeit it's not highlighted as his best role, he's actually got pretty good attributes for it. If I get you the target forward there, yes, the bravery lets him down. Yes, the composure, the teamwork isn't amazing, but he's strong, he's good in the air, he's good on the floor, he's got a great first touch, he's good directing the header, he's good dribbling with the ball, and his movement's not bad either. So maybe as a striker with a little bit of trickery, we found a very good target man there. He's delivered 3 goals in 3 starts and 7 sub appearances, and he's already looking like a real contender for surprise of the season in a pleasant way. But today, we're going to have 2 very tough tests, because against Oxford and Pompey, we're playing 2 of the expected promotion rivals. And I mean, even a couple of games after that, we've got Crewe, who are the early front runners in the league. So certainly not going to be an easy spell. But let's go and crack on with the first of them and see how much we're going to have to work to get near the top this year. Second v third, if we win it, we go above Oxford. Crew are 1-0 up away at Charlton as it stands. They're going to get another victory there. But for us, it's about staying in that mix until January. I will tell you a couple of things in between the games as well, relating to jobs and what we're trying to do on that front. But we've got to pick the best 11 available. Some former legends of this channel in that opposition instruction. Cameron Archer, who we had at Dorking back in the day. Bashir Humphreys, we had at Torquay back in the day. Oh, there's a few very good players in that team, and we can certainly see why they're near the top. Let's go and pick our 11 though. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, I've taken a couple of very slight risks. Uche Ikpeazu is not in form. He's come back from the international break really struggling for fitness, so we're going to leave him on the bench again. I've also put Callum Lang on the bench, who's on his way back and has one more day till he starts full training. If we need an emergency measure, he's going to be there. But you can see immediately where the problems are in this team. Take out the goalkeeper. Now with a couple of injuries, we've got in Ainley, who's 2-star, Mullin 2.5, and Clark, who's 2. There's not depth in this squad. It's a good first 11, particularly defensively. The back four is solid. Harvey White and Adeniran when fit are brilliant. Even Watmore's playing really well now we've moved him to a winger role. But it hasn't got any depth. It's sort of like Dover in the National League South, but without a good goalkeeper. That's basically where we are. The 11 for today, though, is Render in goal. No other choice there. I have moved him back to a goalkeeper on defend because I noticed a lot of his mistakes were when he was trying to come out. And although he's listed as being as good in the sweeper keeper role, I'm sticking with this one for now. Not the way I like to play, but it will do the job. We've got Iorfa and Brian Olivant, the fullbacks, with Rashawn Williams and Jack Corley, the centre-halves. Wadham, Ainley covering in the middle, and Harvey White as the 3, with Watmore, Mullin and Clark, the front 3, to face Oxford. I guess a bit more of a containing job. We're trying to get a positive result. And to be honest, if we get a point, I wouldn't consider it a disaster. Let's go and get into the first of 2 big games. Hope there's no more injuries and hope we don't get embarrassed. Well, it's a good midfield, isn't it? Brannigan and Ollie Norburn in there. They've got Josh Sheehan on the bench. Some very good players in that squad. Lasala there too on the substitutes bench. Paul Smith starts, the Northern Irishman. And this team is going to be right up there this year. We're going to get the lads motivated. We're 5 gone. We've had a couple of shots and not made it count. And now it's an Oxford corner. Brannigan in. Good header away from Jamari Clark. It's the benefit of a target man, I guess, as Smith puts one just over with a wonderful strike. And if it's on target, you've got to question if Render can save it. 10 minutes gone though, no goals conceded. And at the moment, this result suits us both. We go into first and second respectively. As it's another corner for Oxford, we're seeing nothing from the game itself. Just corners galore as Abdullah gets it for the second ball, left side of the box. Cuts it to Brannigan. He's got support on the edge from Hamilton. Goes back to Norburn, into Hamilton again. I just worry that they're looking to shoot on sight, and I wouldn't blame them for that policy. In towards Archer, it's cleared away well. Williams does brilliantly in fairness. Mullin brings it down. No shot on target yet for Oxford, but they're the only team we're seeing efforts from. So I'm going to drop to balanced. I'm going to encourage the boys, and hopefully we get a positive reaction. 15 to the break. 0-0's not bad. Well, I certainly think at half-time this game would fall into the category of cagey affair because one shot on target apiece. Not many great chances, largely a game of set pieces and play in the middle third. They're making a sub at half time, and if we can force them to try and make changes, to try and open up a little bit, maybe that's where we can counter. 15 gone in the second half. Crew, who were top at the start of the day, getting absolutely battered at Charlton. So maybe now both teams here looking at this as a decent point. The problem we've got is another game in 3 or 4 days, and this is where we have to balance things so delicately. We've got a poor performance for Callum Ainley, who I don't think can do 90 minutes here. So I'm going to bring on Davidson for him. For Mullin on the left wing, I'm going to gamble and bring on Callum Lang. And up front, Jamari Clark will be replaced by Uche Ikpeazu. I know they're not resting the players that are perhaps most likely to play in midweek, but we're playing a top of the table clash. We can't take off our stars to rest them at 0-0. As Sheehan, the substitute, it's blocked high up the pitch. This might change our plans. White picks it up to Paul Mullin. Hasn't scored yet this season. That's a pathetic effort. I'm sorry. He's not even looked to hit the target. He's just shot straight in front of him for a goal kick. Though Callum Lang's on and he's got him behind. On the break for Lang. We've missed him so much. Hits the woodwork. Surprises the keeper with a shot there. That could have been a very special moment. We've got 10 minutes to hang on. Just don't lose it. But we do look better since the subs. Now it's an Oxford free kick. How many spare men have they got at the back post? Crawley heads away, but that doesn't make sense. They had 5 players marked by about 2 there, which is a massive concern. And the defence has parted like the Red Sea. Abdullah picks it up at the back. The 2 centre-halves are nowhere to be seen. That is absolutely awful. Now we're going to have to go positive. Now we're going to demand more. And if we don't score, we're back down to 3rd. And it becomes a wasted opportunity as Harvey White releases Callum Lang. Produce something special for us. Up to Watmore. Ikpeazu's there, but he goes back. It's the safe option. Iorfa finds Wadham. Back to Williams. I think what we're seeing today, despite a decent display, is, again, not having a good goalkeeper who might have pulled off a good save from a 25-yard shot. And what happens when we've got 1 or 2 injuries or 1 or 2 players out of form? Because, again, we've matched them stride for stride in this game. And we're going to lose it 1-0. And we can't keep losing these nothing games. As Ikpeazu, out of form, but trying to hold it up into stoppage time. Just 2 added on as Lang delivers. Headed away by Humphreys. Having said that, it would have been a great game to nick a late point from. But it's not going to happen. 2 minutes of stoppage time up. Oxford win 1-0 and strengthen their title credentials. And we're now in a battle for the playoffs. We'll be back in a minute for Pompey. It doesn't get any easier. And you've got to ask, how many of these are going to be fit? My guess is not many. Well, when we came back for the second game, I was about to show you what we'd been doing on the job front. I told you in the summer when I came here, looked at the squad, and particularly after deadline day, that we were going to try and get up near the top of the league, do well, meet the media and board expectation, and then apply for any jobs that came up. So what I've done is, bar Blackpool, who were marooned at the bottom of the Championship, I have applied for all of the jobs down there. So Bristol City, Stoke, who have now gone bottom, and Sheffield United. And I didn't expect to straight away, but within 4 months of coming here, we've now got a job offer from Bristol City in the Championship. Now, this, given the squad we've got at Sheffield Wednesday and the fact that we're not going to be able to hang on at this level, as much as it's horrible to me, because there's nothing I'd love more than to rebuild a great club like this, we have to look after our career. If we have 6 defeats in a row, they're going to be very quick to sack us, aren't they? So we're going to have to look after ourselves here. We've got a surprise job interview, which might thwart our attempt to show the second game. But let's have a look. We've shown loyalty to every club we've managed, which is a good thing. You've not been at your current club very long at all. Interesting question. Why are you suddenly looking to move on? Let's see what we can say. Oh, I don't know what the right answer is here. I don't want to say I've made an error of judgment and regret ever taking a job, because that's going to make them sound really bad. I'm going to say this. I've managed to do some very positive things in a short period of time. What could I do with a long-term commitment? Don't forget, Sheffield Wednesday only gave us a 1-year deal, so we've not really got much compensation here at all. With your team on course to finish as expected in the league and enjoying a decent spell of form, are you looking to take advantage of your stock? Absolutely not. We're built to last. This isn't a short-term thing. You've developed a reputation for applying for other jobs while still employed. I like some of these questions. I won't do it again, don't you worry. You're up for a few jobs right now. Are you hedging your bets? I'm doing whatever I can to keep progressing. Are you willing to assure us that you do a better job of meeting expectations than your potential predecessor did? Well, surely it's not the potential predecessor, it was the predecessor who did it. But there we go, doesn't matter. Yes, I've got a good record when it comes to meeting expectations. I try and forge a strong bond with the supporters. I don't need any changes to the staffing. You expect to avoid relegation. How many points behind were they? It wasn't many, I don't think. Can we get it there? Championship. Oh, they're only 1 point from safety. And it's MK Dons and Forest Green who have been recent promoted sides. So after that, a top half finish, I think that's absolutely fine. Yes, let's go for it. Should you be hired, your expectation is to avoid relegation. Absolutely fine. Transfer budget of 4 million nearly. Jeez. I don't think I'd need such a large budget. I'd happily work with a slightly smaller. Let's not go too far. And in terms of the wages, we'll be happy to work with that. Is there anything you'd like us to consider if we decide to hire you? Absolutely not. And that is an enlightening discussion. Now, are Sheffield Wednesday going to catch wind of it? And are we going to get a chance at the job? Let's find out. Well, no news, as you would expect, from Bristol City. But importantly, no media news from Sheffield Wednesday either. Having said that, we could really do with winning this game on a personal level, because Bristol City's board, for whatever you say, they will be watching closely. Who's fit, who's not. Everyone in the team is fit. Adeniran is nowhere near. but Callum Lang is. So he will come back in on the left wing. Ikpeazu, I've given him the old, I don't know how much longer I can wait for you to score a goal, and we'll see what that does. And I'm going to bring Arthur Reed in central midfield just because it's a hunch. I mean, Ainley didn't play well at the weekend. The rest of the team is fit, so it is just the 3 changes. 2 strengthen us, 1 pretty much like for like in terms of backups. And let's see how it works out. Ryan McGarry is back fit and can come onto the bench. He will replace maybe Davidson because we've got enough options in the middle now. Or perhaps even Coulson because we've got so many attacking ones. So he comes in. There's the squad. 3 changes made. Now can we get the win that might just get us a championship job, even this quick after joining Sheffield Wednesday? Well, there's a few good players in this Pompey team. They're managed by Chris Wilder for a start. Their bench includes Will Andy Appan, who we had at Dover last year before we took the Sheffield Wednesday job. I completely forgot he'd come here. But in defence, Liam Lindsay's a good player. Nathan McKenna's starting. Oh my word, 2 of that first 11 from Dover Athletic are in this side. That maybe shows you how strong that Dover team was. Shea Ojo, Joe Morell's still there, former Luton player in real life. Let's go and get into the first half. I did not expect Nathan McKenna to start. And him and Andy Appan basically fighting for a fullback position, aren't they? But brilliant to see. Hopefully they'll give us a warm welcome as the ball's back to Render in goal. Couple of minutes on the clock. Be nice to get a good start. And for as much as we like McKenna, we want to try and take advantage of that inexperience. As Watmore's in, right down from the long ball, but doesn't take the chance. It's a good save by the keeper down to his left, and it will be a corner kick. Left-footed one for Harvey White. In towards the back stick, Reed goes up. Not quite the same aerial threat as Adeniran, it's got to be said. And Watmore can pick it up on the left-hand side. Takes on his man. He's looked really good in recent weeks. And as I say that, he runs one out for a throw-in. That one was written in the stars, wasn't it? Commentator's curse. As it's Pompey with a throw on the left for the first time. Now that Amari Samuels at left wing-back, did we have him at Derby last year? Or am I imagining that in the head coach? I vaguely remember him the left wing-back. As Lindsay picks it up at centre-half. We're forcing them back. But they have still got confidence on the ball. And they've released Samuels, who we just mentioned. Oh, it's a wonderful ball across the box. Neither striker went in and attacked it. And it's our lucky day because it was just an absolutely perfect ball. Corridor between keeper and centre-half. And thankfully, nobody went and took a gamble as it's back to coming in the Portsmouth goal. Plays out to Lindsay. Over the top, Palombi brings it down. Beats the centre-half, all ends up. It's back to Brierley. And this is the problem in this position. We're reliant on defenders to block because I do not trust the goalkeeper if the shot's on target. Out for a throw-in, been end-to-end so far. I'd argue though, Pompey looked just as good. As we've got the ball at right back with Iorfa to Wadham, to Corley. It really just eased the pressure if we could get a goal here. As Watmore's in down the right again. Been so good in recent weeks. But not a natural goal scorer. Of course scoring plenty for Middlesbrough in real life this year. But not really replicating that for us. As White delivers to the back post. Dominic Iorfa's up. And there is one of the big men delivering. Brilliant bullet header. And the right back puts us 1-0 up. Pompey got work to do now. And they're straight to it as the ball's out to the left towards Samuels. But Iorfa doing his defensive work at the other end now. And Reed picks it up in midfield to Corley. We do still play some lovely stuff. We've just not got a good enough keeper. That's all it is really. It'd be a lovely bit of icing on the cake if we could get Ikpeazu a goal today. Because he's really struggled in the last month or so. As Lang plays to White. Up to Arthur Reed. Into Watmore. Goes for the shot. He might not finish the one-on-ones from 10 yards out. But he certainly scores screamers, doesn't he? Placed it right in the bottom corner. It's 2 goals in 3 minutes. And we're back up to second place. This is a crucial result. And if the Bristol City board are watching and trying to make a decision on us, I think we might be tempting them. Could it be Championship here we come? Could be a very exciting next episode, couldn't it? As the ball's with Wadham again at the back. We look really confident in possession now after that shaky start. And that's what a goal does. Settles us right down. Ikpeazu finds Reed. We're carving them open at will. And Arthur Reed has missed by a whisker there. It's a wonderful effort. And he's had a good game to be fair. Maybe forcing his way in now. As Olivan gets it at left back. It's been played entirely in the Pompey half. As Iorfa can stride forward from right back. No pressure on him. Watmore's down the line. He's just running rings round him. 3 in the middle. Goes back to Iorfa. In towards Ikpeazu. Misses it to Lang. And that might be the best missed header of the season. Because it fell on his lap for Callum Lang. And with half the goal spare, 5 yards out. He passes it in. 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday. maybe the best performance of the season so far. Well, based on that first half, I'm very glad that we still showed this game after the interview, because it's been a brilliant performance and we're on the front foot immediately in the second half. You can see the difference Callum Lang makes being back, and to be fair, Reid has been a big step up from Ainley. When we get Adeniran back, it looks good, but the next game's in 2.5 days and half of these ain't going to be fit. We will try and rest a few if we stay 3 up, as Williams, oh, that's going to help. Awful two-footed lunge from a striker. That's a horrendous tackle. No doubt it was a straight red card, and that should take away Pompey's threat for getting back into the game. Now we can just pick 3 players at the hour mark and rest them, as Ikpeazu gets it to Lang. Please let Uche score. That's the one thing I'd like to see. Callum Lang down the left-hand side, gets to the byline, cuts back on his right, delivers in. He made McKenna look silly there. It's cleared out, but I think the offside flag was up. Pompey survived, but it feels like this could be any score we want it to be, as Ojo loses out in the air to Iorfa. It's down the line to Liam Lindsay, who's forced back to his keeper. Coming out to Glez. He funds Viner, and it's over the top, but there's no one up there. With 1 striker against 4 defenders, it's easy. Uche Ikpeazu, brilliant ball out to the right. Watmore on the byline. 3 in the middle. Ikpeazu's 1. Headed away, but only as far as Olivan on the left. He's got 2 inside. Can he take on his man? He does. He delivers to Uche, who heads just over. And with 50 minutes gone, this is beautiful to watch. What a performance if it is to be our last game. Look, we've reached the 65-minute mark, and I know it won't help the result, but we've got to rest people. So Iorfa will come off for McGarry. He's one of our strongest subs anyway. Harvey White definitely needs a rest, considering Adeniran's out anyway. So we'll bring on maybe young Davidson for him. And then on the right wing, Watmore certainly earned his rest. He can come off for Paul Mullin. And hopefully for the last 25, we can just keep it comfortable. Keep the ball if nothing else. Well, into the final 10 minutes, and the game's died after the substitutes have come on. Exactly what we wanted. It's been comfortable. It's been a lovely night at the office. And for the last half an hour, we can rest people and even give the lads on the pitch a bit of a break. Oh, I thought he'd done it. Uche runs through. It's a brilliant mazy run. But he hits the post, and that is just where his luck's not breaking at the minute. He's having the odd bit of misfortune, but with 3 minutes of stoppage time played, it is Sheffield Wednesday 3, Pompey 0, and that was a fantastic way to end the episode. Let's go and have a quick look at when we're next going to be back, although of course, it could be with a job offer. Let's go and see. Well, as a result of that brilliant victory from our game in hand, we are up to 2nd place to end the episode. Oxford lost at Rotherham, which keeps the gap at 1 there. All the more annoying now, if we draw 0-0, we would have been top of the league. But that's not the main story of this episode, is it? Job interview from Bristol City in the Championship after just, 14 league games in charge here. I think that's the point at which we left Arbroath as well last year. I'm going to have to go back and check it. We've got Sheffield United and Stoke to go for too. We'll see what happens. We could be back very quickly, but if that doesn't come off and we're still at Sheffield Wednesday, imagine if we get the Sheffield United job, by the way. Then we will be back in mid-December, because we've got Bolton, Rotherham, Birmingham, big games at this level. And particularly Bolton and Rotherham. The Rotherham game, Yorkshire Derby, it's got a bit of recent history in terms of relegation battles in the Championship. So I think that might have to be the one we go for. If you did enjoy this episode though, a brilliant performance against Pompey and a very surprise job interview at Bristol City, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out if we've been offered a job. In the meantime, you can see our struggles with Hemel Hempstead in our One Club story. There's also a link to the podcast channel in the eye above for a festive fun ramble coming this evening, and of course the Twitch channel for regular live streams and our Cricket 22 series as well. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always, it is greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time, potentially at Sheffield Wednesday, or maybe moving up to the Championship. We wouldn't have thought that 3 episodes ago, would we? I'll see you next time.